Hi guys, and welcome to today's Josh's vlog video. I just want to have a chat with you today about something I've been contemplating this last week. So I've been thinking about when I was a kid, me and my brothers used to argue over the jobs that had to be done around the house. Whether that was mowing the lawn or the dishes or hoovering or whatever it was. There was always arguments over whose responsibility it was. And we would always, all of us, use the phrase, "It isn't my job." And I realised as I was thinking about this that phrase, "it's not my job," is something that I've used my entire life. When I grew up, and I've done many years in retail in my life, doing many different roles, from a bike mechanic to working in supermarkets to being a supervisor. Actually, in all of those jobs, it's a phrase that I've used over and over again. It's not my job. And it seemed to be that if it wasn't in my job description, then I wasn't going to do it. And actually, as I've been contemplating this last week and trying to think about what God's saying to me through these, is that actually I think sometimes that creeps into my faith life as well. This idea that it's not my job. Now, I believe that as Christians, we all have a calling on our lives. Something that God gives us as a task or a ministry. And for me, that's youth work. And I'm privileged to be able to do that as a job now. But what it means is I have this specific calling on my life to do youth work, and actually I'm using that as an excuse sometimes. And I replace "it's not my job" with "it's not my ministry," or "it's not my calling." And what I'm effectively saying is it's someone else's job. And I think there is an element of this in a lot of our lives, that we do sometimes, if there's a calling on our lives to be a youth worker or whatever your calling is, it's too easy to hide behind that and say things like, "it's not my calling." And there may be some of you who are sitting there thinking, "I don't have a calling on my life." And in the same way, that can easily be used as something to hide behind and still being used these phrases like, "it's not my job." But I've also been reading a lot of C.S. Lewis recently, and there was a passage that really stood out to me, which I'm going to read to you now. C.S. Lewis says, "It is a serious thing to live in a society of possible gods and goddesses. To remember that the dullest and most uninteresting person you can talk to may one day be a creature which, if you saw it now, you would be strongly tempted to worship, or else a horror and a corruption such as you now meet, if at all, only in a nightmare. All day long we are in some degree helping each other to one or other of these destinations. It is in light of these overwhelming possibilities, it is with the awe and circumspection proper to them, that we should conduct all our dealings with one another, all friendships, all loves, all play, all politics. There are no ordinary people. You have never talked to a mere mortal." And what C.S. Lewis is saying here is that this is your mission. This mission underlines everything we do and every interaction we have with another human being. And it takes away being able to use phrases like, "it's not my mission," "it's not my calling," or "I don't have a calling." Because this is something that we are all called to. And if we do have a specific calling on your life, like I do with youth work, it doesn't replace this calling, it adds to it. So for me as a youth worker, I can't say, and I have done in the past, I've turned things down because people don't fit into the 11 to 21-year-old bracket that I would normally work with. But all my calling as a youth worker means is that God is placing me in the right place and the right time to work with these people at this moment. But this is still a calling on my life, that every person I meet, every interaction I have, is with someone who has the potential to have a relationship with Jesus and the potential to be with me in eternity. And this could make you, as C.S. Lewis goes on to say, perpetually solemn. That actually you start worrying about every interaction you have, but that shouldn't be the case. We should be approaching this with joy and love. And actually what it does is it gives us a sense of purpose. That when you go out and you're just doing your shopping or whatever it is you're going out to do, when you meet people, what you say and what you do in the eyes of another person could be helping or hindering them in their relationship with Jesus. And actually, you could have been placed in that moment without you knowing to be the right person for that person. To be the person who might be the only one that smiles at them that week. To be the person who is the only one that says hello to them that week. And all it does is makes us look at ourselves and look at the interactions we have and say, actually, how am I coming across? When I meet people, am I shining the light and love of Jesus? Because everybody you meet has the potential to be with you in eternity and has the potential to have a relationship with Jesus.